Dear students, today we will start sustained and controlled drug delivery system. First of all, we should know what are the drug delivery systems. Now, the drug delivery systems are basically drug delivery systems are basically the mode or the means or we can say these are the dosage forms by which we can deliver a drug in a suitable manner. And what is a drug? Drug is basically an active pharmaceutical ingredient which can be delivered in a suitable manner at a suitable rate and to a suitable extent so that it can reach to the target site to have the pharmacological effect. We have several kinds of the drug delivery systems available in the market, and we have studied also about these in previous classes. Like we have studied solid dosage form, we have studied liquid dosage forms, and we have also studied semi-solid dosage forms. Now, these solid dosage forms usually includes tablets, capsules, powders. Now, these formulations are solid in consistency, so they are termed as solid dosage forms. And liquid dosage forms, they have a consistency of the liquid, so they are termed liquid dosage forms. For examples like solutions, syrups, emulsions, elixirs, linctures, as well as so many formulations are available in the market for the liquid dosage form. Semi-solid, for example, these could be ointment, it could be cream, it could be we can say gel, or it could be any lotion preparation. They can be semi-solid preparations. Usually semi-solid preparations are for topical use, and we can't restrict that only semi-solids can be used for the topical use. Liquids are also available for the topical preparations as well as solids are also available. Then you will say how? Now, these powder preparation, for example, we use talcum powder. It is a cosmetic product, but in the similar manner, neomycin powder comes. It is in the powder state. It is sprinkled over to that of the infected area where the infection is there, or any cut area or wounded area. Then powder is applied. Then powders are for internal use as well as for external use. So these conventional and these tablet, capsule, powders, elixirs, linctures, solutions, emulsions, suspensions, gels, ointments, creams, lotions, all these preparations are the conventional preparations, and these conventional preparations are commonly used in order to achieve the immediate effect. Means we have taken a drug, we have taken a dosage form either orally or parenterally or by the means of a topical application. Now, either it is oral, either parenteral or topical. If it is applied over the surface, it shows some immediate effect. For example, I have a swelling, then I apply Volini cream, then my swelling gets relieved. In the same manner, I have a fever, then I take a paracetamol tablet, then after 15-20 minutes I feel calm and relaxed that my fever is going down. Now, these are the things that I am getting the immediate effects. Now, but there are certain drawbacks also of these conventional systems. Even though they are doing their therapeutic effect, they are showing their therapeutic effect, but they have to be taken repetitively. And as I have to take them repetitively, now what happens that, for example, I have to take a paracetamol tablet at 8 am, then I have to take it according to its half-life. I have to take it after 4 hours, then I have to take at 12, then I have to take at 4 pm, then I have to take it at 8 pm, then I have to take it at 12 pm, and then in the early morning 4 am, and then again at 8 am. Now, I have scheduled it accordingly. In 24 hours, I have to take it after every 4 hours. Then what is happening over here? That patient has to set a clock, then so that, or a reminder, so that he or she will not forget the dose. But since it has to be taken repetitively, then a person has to think about that after 4 hours I am going to take a medicine. But if one or the other person who is ill and forgets, then there will not be the calming effect. After 4 hours, again the fever will come. Again the person may have the suffering, may feel feverish, may have the pain, may have the body ache, and then what is happening? Patient is under the same pain, same situation of the pain or suffering as the person was earlier. But if a formulation has a once a day dose or twice a day dose, for example, if a person has to take a dose once upon a time, once a day, then what happens? He or she has taken it either at a bedtime or in the morning, and then she can or he can go anywhere and enjoy the day and can work efficiently, and there is no chance he or she is going to miss the dose, and then there will be again the same sufferings will be there. So in order to have these kind of the effects, we require to modify the release. Now in order to modify the release, we have to change the formulation parameters. Now as we have to change the formulation parameters, then the formulation will behave in a different manner rather than the immediate action effects. Now if I say the conventional therapies, these are the conventional therapies, what they achieves inside our blood. Now for example, if I take the consideration of a single dose, then I say that this is the plasma drug concentration. Plasma drug concentration achieved versus time profile of an immediate release drug. Then it will be like this. Now here what is happening over here? As I am proceeding towards the time, then amount of the drug reaching to that of the blood is increasing, and then it is going downward. Now this phase will be termed as absorption phase, and this will be, as there is a decline in the concentration, then it will be termed as elimination phase of the drug. Now the concentration achieved at this peak is Cmax, and the corresponding time at which it is achieved is Tmax. Means the maximum concentration achieved at a particular time is Cmax, concentration is Cmax, and at what time it is achieved? Cmax is achieved, it is achieved at Tmax. Now if I say there is some minimum effective concentration, this is minimum effective concentration. Means if my drug I have taken, and then if it will reach over here after a particular duration, for example it reaches after half an hour, here half an hour it achieves the crosses the subtherapeutic level, means this region is subtherapeutic region. And this will be therapeutic region. Now, if I say a drug is in the subtherapeutic region, then the drug is not going to show any kind of the pharmacological effect, not going to show any kind of the therapeutic effect. Now, if I say this effect falls into the therapeutic region, means there will be a concentration that will be maximum safe concentration, means MSC, safe concentration that is achieved in the plasma. In this case, if it is below the safe concentration, means I have achieved the this is the therapeutic region. From MEC to MSC, it is a therapeutic region. Now, if this is the therapeutic region, means it is the region between the MEC, minimum effective concentration, to maximum safe concentration. The difference between the two will give you the therapeutic region. Means if the plasma drug concentration falls in this region between the MSC and MEC, then it will be termed as most effective therapeutic dose of the drug which is available in the plasma. Now, if this concentration falls down after a particular period of time, Now then I will have the effect only between this duration. For example, it falls down at 4 hours. Then what is going to happen over here? That after the 4 hours, the dose of the drug that is present in the plasma is in the subtherapeutic region. If it is in the subtherapeutic region, then obviously I am not going to have the therapeutic effect, and I am losing the effect after 4 hours of the taking the drug. Now, if I will say this concentration Cmax is achieved above the MSC, means maximum safe concentration, if it is achieved above MSC, then this amount of the dose will be falling into the toxic region, toxic zone. Now, it means above the maximum safe concentration there is a toxic level, and if the drug will fall into the toxic level, then I will have, or anyone who is going to take the drug will have some toxic effects. Now, if I will say this graph is used for that of the oral drug delivery system, means I have taken a tablet orally, and after half an hour it has reached to that of the plasma drug concentration to a level that has crossed the minimum effective concentration, and then it is reaching to that of the maximum safe concentration, and above around 2 hours, and after that it is falling down. Now here at this Cmax concentration, if I say it is the Cmax, and then at this Cmax rate of absorption, at this point the rate of absorption is equal to rate of elimination. Now here the rate of absorption is faster in this part of the graph, and rate of elimination is faster in this part. Now at the peak concentration both are same, rate of absorption is same as well as rate of elimination is equal. Now if I say here there is an absorption, there is an elimination, then it is the subtherapeutic region, it is the therapeutic region, it is the toxic region, means above the maximum safe concentration I will have the toxic effects. Now if this is the case for the oral formulations like tablet, capsule, syrups, elixirs, whatever may be. But if I have to give a drug by the parenteral route, then this graph will not be like this, it will be like this. Now, means as I have directly injected the drug into the plasma, then what is going to happen over here? The concentration of the drug that is maximum at that point will be achieved at the zero time. As it is injected, it will be there into the blood. Now, Cmax is this. After a particular period of time, there will be an elimination field. Same way, this is MSC, this is minimum effective concentration, maximum safe concentration. Now, this phase is the elimination phase, means amount of the drug will decrease like this. As the amount of the drug is going down, then if I am losing the effect, and when it will cross the minimum effective concentration, then I am going to finally lose the I am going to lose the therapeutic effect of the drug. Okay. Now, basically, in overcome these drawbacks, means after a particular duration, I will be in the subtherapeutic region. Now, after reaching the subtherapeutic region, if I am going to take another injection, for example, after 4 hours, then there will be lapse of time, means person may suffer from the disease. Or if I consider, it was the case of the parenteral, if I consider the case of oral dosage form, then what is going to happen over here? Now I have taken, it is a single dose effect. then I have taken in another dose, means after a suitable period of time I have taken another dose, then again another dose. Then this kind of the graph which I am obtaining here is termed as multiple therapy dosing effect. Now I have taken the first dose, this is the first dose, this is the second dose, and this is the third dose. Now as you can see, as in order to avoid the loss of the therapeutic effect, I have to take a drug before the formulation will lose the effect. If I miss the dose, then what will happen? Then this graph will be like this. I have taken it at, for example, I have taken a drug at 8 and I have to take it at 12 noon, but I have forgotten. Then what will be the effect? There will be, I have taken it at 1 o'clock, then graph will be like this. Now, there is a valley region, means it is the duration during which I don't have the sufficient amount of the drug available in the blood to show the therapeutic effect. So, at this region, the person may be suffering of the disease. Now, in order to avoid it, I should take it repetitively at the suitable time interval, that is termed as the half-life of the drug. Now, this half-life of the drug regulates the dosing frequency. If half-life of the drug is longer, then frequency of dosing duration will be longer. Means I will take, if it has a half-life of 8 hours, then after 8 hours I will take. If it has a half-life of 12 hours, then I will take another dose at 12 hours. If it has a half-life of 24 hours, then I am going to take it at 24 hours. But most of the drugs falls in the region of half-life of 2 to 8. And in certain cases, what happens, for example, in a case of diabetic patient, we should regulate the blood glucose level and we need to regulate it. Now, before the food absorption occurs and it will elevate the blood sugar level inside the blood of a diabetic patient, sufficient amount of insulin should be there. So, what is needed? That individual should have the sufficient supplement of the drug or insulin, so that as the food absorption is going on and there is an absorption of the glucose in the blood, then it should reduce it as it will be elevating from that of the from the normal concentration to the higher concentration. Similarly, in order to avoid these kinds of the valleys and the peaks, I need to devise a suitable dosage form which can overcome these frequent dosing. One of the major problem with that of the conventional therapies is the multiple dosing. Now you have to take it several times. Means now multiple dosing, if a person has to take it several times, then it is not compliable. Means a person will be feeling sick that I have to take a particular medicine in for 4 times or 8 times or 6 times or 3 times a day, then he or she may be compatible with the dose. Means under the severe condition patient will take, but when we feel relaxed, then we will try to omit the dose. Okay, once upon a time I can miss the dose, but it is not the good thing, because plasma concentration will reduce and therapeutic effect will be lost and the person may will again have the suffering. So, in order to overcome the non-compliance towards the immediate release formulations, we require a suitable dosage form where we can have the modifications in the rate as well as extent of release of the drug, which will suitably regulate the concentration of the drug in the blood according to the need of the individual. So, these modifications are termed as modified drug delivery systems.